Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Souboutei Must Be Destroyed, starting off with Chapter 54. So, where we last left off, Flora reached out to Seiichi as, Seiichi got close enough to Souboutei, like, he's here, he's finally here, and she told him, hey, get me nitrogen, we need nitrogen. So, they're getting a big nitrogen tanker, I think multiple, actually, and this feels like the end game. It can't be, though, right? Like, it can't be this simple. It can't be as simple as just bringing in the nitrogen until a floor can apport it down to the very bottom of Souboutei where it explodes, it kills everyone, it kills all of the invaders. I mean, it could be that simple, I guess. Like, the obvious answer is no, there's no way that's going to be that easy, but this is Souboutei. Souboutei does defy my expectations time and time again. So it's possible that they'll do it, and then it turns out that either, some of the invaders survive, or they already managed to escape, or maybe they're completely gone, but Souboutei, like, the house, the evil house itself is still a threat. Anyways, that's enough speculation. Let's jump right in. Okay. Chapter 54, my turn. Makes sense? I mean, if this is her turn, like, it's her time to finally bring it down. I mean, it also depends on, like, how close it has to be. If it's just, it has to be outside of Souboutei, then game, set, match. But if it's something where, like, Seiichi has to take a tanker and then, like, walk through Souboutei with it, or, like, drive it in and then, like, drive down some flights of stairs or something, that might be a bit more difficult. Come on, hold out. I mean, also, like, everyone's just barely managing to hang on against this horde of undead. So, like, it has to be an all-or-nothing thing. Like, I feel like they need to get the nitrogen, but at the same time, that's too clear of a win condition. Oh, boy. Yeah, they're all getting tired out. Like, they can't fight for much longer. They really, really need that nitrogen, like, right now. Right. We surely won't be able to hold out that long, but if I use my ability... So... Can't you do it just within the grounds? Because again, they need it right now, so it wouldn't be that ridiculous to have it teleported, like, from outside in. Ooh, actually, what if he drills down, like, at an angle? So, like, let's say they're here, the outside is up here. What if he just, like, goes in at an angle, so that all they have to do is just drive the tanker in, like, close enough for Floor to then teleport it in? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the way, so bringing it will take time. So if there isn't, it's so simple. It's so simple. But I mean, to be fair, he has said repeatedly throughout the series, I want to go to Souboutei, I'm going to destroy it. Like, we hadn't really thought about, like, can he? I imagine he can. Like, if Souboutei is, protected by pure dark magic, then maybe not. But if it is, like, it's at least influenced by the invaders, and he is effective against the invaders. So it might be as simple as just, tearing a hole right through the gates. Or, I mean, through the side, I guess. The gate's easy. You can just walk through the gates. Oh boy. And this is being broadcast, like, nationally at least, maybe worldwide. Boy, oh boy. Well, I guess you can't hide this for much longer. And the two of them definitely do not care about hiding it. This house is super big. Can I really destroy such a huge house? That sheer aura infecting all of them, except Seiichi, it seems. It seems like Seiichi is, like, not really scared at all about it, like, by it. But all the humans are freaked out for sure. No, these children do not need protection. But I won't be scared. Okay. Rakuro, you watch. Souboutei will be destroyed. So then Rakuro won't be scared anymore. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Oh my god. The use, I want to say that this is sketchy, but it's not. The term sketchy I tend to use for, like, very wild, very, like, messy ink, but this is not it's not messy, it's not sketchy. The ink is all very clearly defined. Like, this isn't just like, line work that was then, like, hastily scribbled over. Like, it's so deliberately done, but it's deliberately done in a very, like, wild, chaotic style. I can't get over Fujita's art. It's so good. All right. I mean, also, that is literally destroying Souboutei. He tore through the sign. All right, he's going in. I mean, is it that simple? Can it be that simple? There's no way. There's got to be like a mini boss or something that'll stop him from going in. A child is that house which even an aerial bombing could not destroy. Yep, Seiichi is invading. Oh my god. But like, is it going to just reassemble itself, or is this like an actual death blow? Holy crap. Like, it's not even just that he's drilling straight in. Like, no, he's going from side to side. He is tearing apart the outskirts. Holy god. Yeah, he's going right in. And it's not even that he's tearing through it. Like, this part, he was clearly like tearing through the material. But with this, it's more of a swirling. It's like he's wrapping the house around his drill. Okay, I mean, is this going to work? Like, I imagine that's because it has that, like, stretchy, bouncy thing to it. Nope, did not hold up. He just blasted right through it. Huh, I wonder if it's supposed to be, like, there's a push sound. Is it supposed to be, like, popping, or is it supposed to be, like, a burning effect? I imagine it's supposed to be popping, like, you know, like a balloon. Though there's a lot of light coming from it, too. So maybe it's supposed to be more of an explosion, actually. I do really like the way that he's silhouetted against the lights. It's, the aesthetic. The aesthetic is so good. Alright. I can't believe how, like, smooth this has gone so far. Like, we've waited so long for Seiichi to finally get to Souboutei, and now he's just tearing through it. Also, this pose is just, absolutely amazing. Oh, a Blackwater's coming from the cut parts. So, So it's not just that they're, like, reinforcing it in an abstract way, or, like, they've introduced themselves into the mechanics of the painting. Like, the fact that Souboutei can regenerate itself is due to the invaders. Though even then, like, it is black water. Like, we did see the water on their planet, but, like, usually when we see the invaders, they're more like the, they're more stretchy. That's kind of what I expected more so than black water. All right, bring in that liquid nitrogen. I mean, they already called it. They did already call it, so it just needs time to get here, I guess. Okay, clear a path. I mean, it's crazy to think that also, like, Seiichi's doing this much damage, but he's not going to be the death knell of this. Like, the whole point is just he's clearing a path. I think I brought this up before, but this does remind me a bit of Shin Godzilla, where, like, contrary to what you would imagine, the contrary to the idea of most fiction of if you say a plan, it doesn't work. Like, the last part of Shin Godzilla is they come up with a plan and then it goes very smoothly. Like, the excitement and the tension of it comes from just how, what a massive scale they have to work on, and how dangerous it is, and how, like, maybe it won't work. But, like, there is something really cool to that idea of a plan that all comes together properly. Like, I don't think this plan is going to work out. I don't think this is going to end Souboutei, but I do want to believe. And the tone of this does make me feel like if they have a chance, they could make it work. They could destroy Souboutei here. Quickly, bring nitrogen. Bring it as close as you can. Bring it close to me. Okay, how close does it need to be, though? Like, does it have to be at the, like, right here? Or can it be even, like, further away? Oh, then I can transfer it here. That is the best I can do, and then I will die. So, Floor is like, this is a death move. Like, by teleporting the nitrogen in, like, she is going to use up all she's got. She's going to die. Oh boy. Like, I don't want it, but at the same time, I'm willing to accept it. Like, they've come so far, and if she's the only one here out of the entire party that needs to die for everyone else to live, and for Souboutei to be destroyed, like, I can't say that's a bad thing. They're having second thoughts. I sure hope this isn't like a Fukumoto-esque situation in which, like, we see the lives of these people as they, go through their own thought processes and ultimately decide, yeah, let's not bring the nitrogen. That's a bad idea. Let's not. Okay. Takeda waits. Huh. Okay, so they're just confirming it that yes, absolutely, 100%, bring in the nitrogen. Don't you dare misunderstand this. I mean, this vision is too good to be true. There's no way that Souboutei's this easily torn apart. I want to believe, but I don't want to get my hopes up. I really don't. Okay, so Rokuro also like, in addition to just being here, he has a part to play at the very least as like someone who is connected to Seiichi. Like, he can be his mouthpiece. He can be the one to say like, all right, is nitrogen here? Immediately go in. This is the exact path you need to take in order to deliver it. There's something very satisfying about how like detailed Souboutei has been up to this point as well. Like, if it were just a bunch of blank walls, then destroying them wouldn't have been that exciting. Like, I've seen a lot of shonen action series that do that, where, like, just for the sake of it being a weekly series, for it being a very, normal series, a lot of the area is, like, very simple buildings, and then those simple buildings get destroyed. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty cool in the moment, but it doesn't have the same impact as Souboutei, which has been basically a character, where we've seen, like, every little bit of it so far, up until, the area where our main protagonists are currently. And now we're getting to see that same area, all those same locations just being torn apart. The detail being just eviscerated by these big white explosions. Oh, it's beautiful. Interesting. So, like, yeah, when he splashed everyone with the water, that, like, a single drop of water stayed in Rokuro, but no one else got the water. Like, it evaporated with everyone else. Is it partially because they were all, like, old people with injuries, and so, like, the water used itself up to save them? Or I think it must be because of their connection. Like, I was saying it before, like, because they have a connection. Maybe it is just that, that one drop of water remained because the two of them are best friends. Also, this smile is the cutest thing in the world. God, I really hope Seiichi comes out of this okay. I want him to have a nice, happy life on Earth. I want him to go to school and make friends and be a fun boy. Alright, the people where I'm heading are in a lot of danger. So I'm curious as to whether, like, is he just relating all this information, or is he doing like a link? Like, is he relating what Flora is seeing, like using himself as a conduit and then sending it to Rokuro? Hey, the gods are back. It is kind of ambiguous as to whether he's sending the information or if he's just like telling him about it. But okay, I'm in here, but it's gonna take a while. Okay. So he's saying like you have to come down. Like, he cleared enough of a path, but he's still gonna take a while. Like, they've got to start driving the truck in right now, which is rough because they don't have the truck yet. But okay. Rokuro, bring nitrogen to that girl. God damn it. The first thing the Prime Minister should be telling everyone is, hey, look at that boy. That boy's important. Stop getting in his way. Okay, everyone will die if we don't take the nitrogen inside, like Souboutei, really soon. But they don't have it. Okay, they do have it. They have it right now. Okay, please, please, please. Before bringing it, we must re-examine the safety precautions to ensure that uses of liquid nitrogen is within regulations. No! There's too much red tape! Screw this! Oh my god, is he gonna just drive it right in himself? Because that would also, like, it would cut through things in the sense that, like, it wouldn't be the Prime Ministers trying to explain something. It wouldn't be, like, them going in themselves and then, like, the army rushing in after them. Like, if he's just a civilian boy, they could spin it as, like, oh, he just did it by himself. Whatever, we have no obligation to go in. Oh boy, things are really spicing up. Ooh, the shading here is really nice. Was this originally in color? I mean, no, it can't be. These are volume scans. Or, are they? Are these volume scans or magazine scans? I assume, like, most of Souboutei... No, Souboutei is done. That's right. So these are volume scans. So, sorry. I was a bit mixed up there. So I guess this must be, like, a page that was in color in the magazine, but is now, not in color for the volumes. I kind of hope when this eventually gets, like, an official English release that we get one of those, like, super fancy releases with color pages in the volumes themselves, or at least in the digital release. I'd like to have the color pages, because I really like the way that Fujita Sensei does color pages. It'd be a real shame if the only way you could experience those was through fan scans, or through, like, these are the fan scans, so... Like, I want a official way to see them, whether it is through, like, the volumes or an art book or something. Though, like, Souboutei's too recent to most likely be in an art book, right? Alright, 57, Rokuro's wish. I mean, for this entire time, he's wanted to, like, participate in the destruction of Souboutei. And this is finally a situation where he can. Like, not only where he can, but where he is the linchpin. Where if he's not the one who brings in the nitrogen, no one might. They might just be out here forever until everyone dies down below. So much miscommunication. I feel like we are really building up something in which someone's going to screw up or someone's going to get the wrong idea and, like, drive the nitrogen off a cliff or something. Okay. And yeah, I mean, this makes sense because they haven't been around. Of course, they wouldn't understand what this random kid is talking about. Huh. Wait, what is that? It's this weird, like, rolly thing almost. Like, is that supposed to be a bit of, like, Seiichi, maybe? Like, it's too conspicuous to just be just a thing he tripped on, like like a stick. I mean, they know that these kids are associated with the Prime Minister, but they still act as if they're nothing. It's so weird. Though, I guess, to be fair, again, like, if the Prime Minister of Canada showed up with a random child to, like, a war zone or something, I doubt most people would be like, oh, don't protect that child. They'd probably say, especially protect that child. Oh, that's such a good parallel, too, though. Like, they've been so downtrodden. They're so scared of doing the wrong thing and being punished for it. And now, finally, like, someone is begging to them. Like, how do you refuse him? They're gonna do it. They're definitely gonna skirt orders and just drive right in. Oh, I don't want to use my drills because these people used to be human. Okay, so that also explains why he's having such a tough time here, as opposed to in all the other parts. Like, it also, like, makes Eiichi less overpowered if he, just through because of a psychological reason he doesn't want to use his full power. Because I can also buy that. Like, I can understand it. His powers come from the old man working with him, and if he subconsciously does not want to use his drills, then I imagine whatever's left of the water would also not want to turn into drills. Like, it's not a selfish thing. It's not him, fighting for his morals. I think it is legitimately just deep down inside. If he doesn't want to use his drills, he can't. All right, come on, closer. Just a little bit closer. Okay, so they got him. They're driving it in. This is so simple. Okay. Yeah, no, they're doing it. They're going right in. I've never had someone on their knees begging to me like that. Yep, they're doing it. They're going right into Souboutei. Oh boy. Okay, she's doing it. She's supporting it. Like, it doesn't even have to be like within the grounds, it seems. Like, it's just close enough. Or I mean, I guess these are technically the grounds, but I was thinking of like, within the walls or where the walls once were. Okay. So if they were trying to sell her body and she just like teleported a car in. Boy, oh boy, I mean, these feel like death flags for sure. And it's one of those situations where, like, I don't want her to die, but at the same time, like, I've rationalized it in my head already. If she dies, I'm going to feel bad, but I'm not going to cry over it. Like, it's going to be a noble death. Yep, she's doing it. All right, just port it in. Maybe a little off the ground, so it might, smash open by itself, but apparently overexerting her power can kill her, so they all know this now, too. But she's going for it. She wants to do it. Now I can finally see out my window a beautiful sky just for me. And I mean, we kind of knew that the doctor cared about her, even if he didn't say it, even if he acted like she was just a test rat, like a lab rat. But now we're seeing it for sure. He doesn't want her to die. And of course, the first thing they do after she stops herself from being raped is, no, get out. You're terrifying. You're a freak. Jesus. I mean, to be fair, they were trying to sell her body for money, so it's not like they were stand-up citizens from the start, but still, I feel so bad for her. It is interesting that Taka is getting these memories, though. Like, Taka does not have the the capacity for telepathic communication, or like he doesn't have it naturally. So what is this? Like, is this Flora like unconsciously giving him her life story because she's feeling emotional, her life is flashing before her eyes? Or does it have something to do with Taka's empathy? Like, is it his ability as opposed to hers? I was able to come this far thanks to the doctor's generosity, as long as my readings were good, and my experiment results were regular, such that they could be reproduced. My window got more and more colorful. Oh my god, she's bleeding from the eyes. Like, this intensity on her face. I don't think we've ever seen her make this expression, or an expression like this even. She's been so calm this entire time, so like almost emotionless. So it hits so much harder now. And I do genuinely think that, yeah, he does care about her, like more so than just as a subject. And maybe, maybe she knows this, maybe she doesn't. Maybe she is just thinking of it as, regardless of whether he cares about me or not, I'm still grateful for the position I'm in. I'm sure if we've talked more, I would have seen an even more beautiful sky. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, they're just going further and further in. And that is true, like, it's gonna kill that, kill all the monsters, but that much nitrogen is gonna cause a massive explosion. Right. Okay, so they gotta get out. I do like oh! Okay, that is a powerful trump card. Like that, yeah, that is the easiest way to get really far away, really fast. And it also, like, it serves to immediately annihilate a lot of the possessed people all at once. I did it, Taka. Such a beautiful sky. Oh. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Chapter 59, nitrogen explosion. Like, there's no getting around it. It's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. And, like, even if she is, falling quite a bit, like, the, like, nitrogen mixes with air very quickly. I mean, air is mostly nitrogen. So it's going to mix in very, very quickly. It's going to save all of them. Like, some of the others might survive. It depends on how long it takes, but based on, like, the outskirts of Souboutei, like, when Seiji just, like, smashed them apart and then they immediately start to dissolve, like, it's not going to take very long. Okay, so he's going to try to ignite them in midair. All right, here we go. All of them working together, all trying to ignite it at the same time. God, what a squad moment. There are, like, for a group of ragtag people who I didn't really think cared about each other that much, like, even, this late into the series, I still do get chills every time I see them all, like, working together, or, like, a subset of them all working together. Like, I think it's because their abilities are so, like, varied. It makes every shot of them very interesting, very different. All right, here we go. Is Taka just pulling himself up, or is he going to try and grab everyone else as well? Oh boy! They're melting! Oh, that does make sense. Like, that does explain why she herself was not there. Because, like she doesn't have a ranged ability. I'm glad even I was able to be helpful before I die. Oh, he's gonna save her! Okay. I mean, her brain's probably super hemorrhaged, but... I mean, maybe she's still going to die, but at the very least, like, he's got her body. Like, her last moments won't be alone at the bottom of this area. It'll be with everyone else, saying how much they appreciate her. I mean, that's also such a Takaha thing to do. To, like, regardless of whether she survives or not, to at the very least give her comfort in this moment. To do the right thing. Or to do the nice thing, I should say. Alright, so that's the explosion. Is Souboutei destroyed, though? Is that it? Can we roll the credits? Chapter 60, What That Man Said. I mean, that's a pretty ambiguous one. I don't know what that could possibly mean. Okay, so all the cans are gone. Like, they were all teleported. That's pretty dope, though. Like, even if they're going to be, court-martialed or something, at the very least, they can say, man, we sure blew up Souboutei. I mean, you could legitimately make a claim that these two are the ones that destroyed Souboutei, assuming Souboutei is in fact destroyed. Alright. I'm alive and being carried on someone's back. Okay. She's still hanging in there. And that is pretty great. Like, because it's Taka, she knows for a fact, like, there were no ulterior motives here. It's not like, even, like, her adoptive father might have, still thought inside, like, oh, I'm doing it because I wanted to save my prized test subject. But with Takaha, like, he's very clear. He's very honest. There's no misinterpreting him. He does exactly what he feels. Since entering Souboutei, I've been terribly missing the sun. Which, yeah, I mean, he's just saying what she feels. She wants to see that sky. I used to hate men, but this man is extremely... Aww. Okay, so the staircase area is still completely intact. Okay. I mean, I sure hope they don't just shoot Taka on sight. No, not scary. Yep, that's him. That's Takaha. They're here. Aww. That's true. I mean, he knew that she was around, but I guess, he didn't realize that she was in Souboutei as well. Okay, she's getting medical treatment. Hopefully they'll find a way to, stop all the psychic damage in her head. And it is the black ones, not the ones. Actually, no, he does use the black ones, right? So I guess this might be a condition of Souboutei. Like, in addition for like in exchange for having the arms, he can't go back, or at the very least, he has to stay around until he can meet the painter again. Which makes sense. Like, I do want him and the painter to interact once more. It would be very bad if Taka were to just leave. That and the fact that I still believe, like, due to his, his nature, the way he is, I don't think they can destroy Souboutei without him. When I got these arms, that man told me I've ended up safe. He talked to me about arts. Yeah. Okay. Tell the adults they're weak to nitrogen, but they can survive if they submerge themselves in water. Okay. Good. That does, like, it's important to get that out there, because they have, like, the power of the Japanese government. They can definitely, like, find all the different water mains, block them up, make sure that, even if they do get into the water supply, they don't actually get past the general area of Souboutei. About your sister, I'm definitely gonna... But I'm not scared. Like, this is, in the end, like, it's not what Taka wants, per se, but it's what he needs to do right now. He needs to go back. Alright. Chapter 61, a new enemy. That's worrying. Like, it could mean that the invaders are dead, but we still have something else there. Is he going in himself? Seiji's also trying his best. It happened to you too, Takeda. I accidentally saw the little squirt's eyes. You saw the determination. You knew that you had to help him. God, these two are legitimately great. Like, we've seen so very little of them in the series, but they're already, like, in my, maybe, I don't know, top 10 might be a bit presumptuous, but I do think, like, they might be above the, like, Pyromary and, like, their crew. Like, I like them, alright, but they're not the best. They might be above the Kirita sisters, honestly. I like, because the Kirita sisters are so complex. Like, there is something very refreshing about having two characters that are just very simple and innocent and just purely good dudes. So, actually, never mind. I just remembered how much I like the flashback with the Kirita sisters. Like, I can't shortchange them like that. These guys are not in the top 10, but they're definitely in the top 20. I mean, rather than doing a ranking, I should just say that Souboutei has a high concentration of characters that I really, really, really like. Like, most of the named characters are people that I'm super into. Aw. Okay. Seichi knows about the things in here, so I'll go the same way he went. That must be where the worst enemies are. I mean, I would be extremely hype if Rokuro saves Seichi's life using these tanks. I'd be down with it. Okay, 60 minutes earlier, so... we have to assume that, like, Seiichi might be in a pinch right now, so how did he get into that pinch? Like, what could be stopping him for 16 minutes straight, apart from just, hordes of humans? Okay. Samurai? We can smell that within your body. Okay. Who are these guys? We are the Tokyo Regiment of the Imperial Army, in association with the Numanakarai platoon. Commonly, we are known as Zanka Division. Okay. So, like, a chunk of the Imperial Army at some point went into Souboutei, got taken over. There is something really cool about the aesthetic of Souboutei in that regard. The fact that most of the people that have been captured by Souboutei, like, some of them are just innocent people, but the strong ones, I assume, would all be people who went in to try and destroy it and then got taken over. Like, there's something cool about the idea that the Imperial Army, which does not get a good rep in a lot of fiction, may have been good guys, or they may have, gone in to try and stop Souboutei, and now they've been twisted over. I mean, I don't want to entertain the other idea of just they were bad people who went in trying to exploit Souboutei, and then they got exploited. Yeah, I hope they're okay. I mean, I guess another option, like, another part of seeing Taka with Floor was to show that, yes, those two were saved by by Taka's arms. But everyone else is up in the air. Maybe they're all dead. Who knows? Okay, it's like a hair cocoon. Is the Seiichi, maybe? Or Seiichi's friend, maybe? Seiichi's friend had threads, right? So, like, maybe it's him. Kairi Kuro. I mean, I've heard a bunch of different interpretations of Kairi, so I couldn't say that. I mean, Kuro is most usually black, so, What is this? Okay, so definitely not Taka's friend. Or, Seiichi's friend, I mean. So this girl is Kairikuro. I mean, her hair extension thing feels a lot like the power granted by the water, and she does have the white hair. Actually, like white hair is a sign of being not controlled by the water, but like working along with it. Can I find the specific chapter? Okay, so this is what Makoto looked like. I mean, very short hair, and it hasn't been that long, but it's been a little bit. So, the design looks too different though. Like also Makoto looks very small, and the people that were on the planet did not age. Like they kind of just stayed where they were. So it's too much of a stretch to say that it might be Makoto. I assume then that it's someone else, like a third person, but that can't be right. Ugh. I do appreciate the amount of red tape that is coming up. Like, even if it is being ignored or it's being, presented as a big problem, I do appreciate that it does keep on coming up. Like, it makes everything feel more realistic. Like, yeah, like all of Japan did not shut down for Souboutei to be attacked. Like, Japan is the same as usual. It's just there's one event here that the Prime Minister and the Secretary of Defense are both really into. But everything still is going on. Like, they have obligations. Okay, so they've been left with the duty of protecting Rokuro. So at the very least, we know that if Rokuro shows up again, hopefully they won't like immediately go like, "Oh, you're just a kid. We'll take you out of here." Though they might interpret what he said as, we'll protect him by getting him out of here, as opposed to we'll protect him by doing what he says. Okay, is she from the same era as the Imperial Guard then? Because like they most likely had fireworks, but if they didn't have firearms, like if she didn't recognize it as a firearm at all, like not even a rifle. Oh, actually, I was thinking of it as just she didn't recognize the shape of the gun, but if she saw the flare, then she may have been like, oh, that's not what a gun does, and that's why she related to a firework. Never mind, I was a little misled there. I misled myself. Yeah, there's no other way I can interpret her hair ability other than the water then. So, what if it's something like the water was passed on? Like maybe Mikoto died, and then he gave the water to someone else, perhaps. Okay, I only stopped here for a short time because many different voices came flying into my head. Okay, so she is like a legit psychic. Most likely one for like. These are clearly Japanese names. I don't know where these locations are, but I imagine like they're from somewhere in the past. Like she has been hanging around Souboutei for a long time, whether she's like possessed by the water or not. Kairikuro, I beg you, if you know where my brother Rokuro is, please tell me. Okay, so they're going together. I'm concerned. I want to know what exactly her deal is. But I mean, it's been a little bit with, very little mystery, so it makes sense that we need to introduce a bit more into the series. You can't run, you abominable child. Hey, so it's been about a week. I got interrupted. I'm just getting back to Souboutei. Luckily, though, in the time it took for me to get back to this, like about a week, Death Toll, being absolute madmen, already put out multiple more chapters. So this is going to be a long, long reaction. Alright, so let's see how Seiichi does. I mean, realistically, they are the Imperial Army. Like, they might have tactics that could take him down, but at the same time, like, he's not a slouch. Seiichi's been fighting for a long time, and he has been tearing through Souboutei like it's nothing. So, like, what tricks could they possibly have? Like, they can't just toss him into a painting. So I guess, that is actually a possibility now that I think about it. It feels like they're more melee than that. Oh, like he stopped for some reason. Why? Like I thought, I can't do it. People shaped like people. Oh, I see. So like that's why. For a minute there, I thought that they had some way of deactivating his powers or something. But I guess that's not true. And like he still punched. Like even though he didn't drill through the guy, he still punched him. Huh. That does make sense though. Like he spent all that time, those decades and decades and decades, convinced that human beings were good, fighting alongside human beings, and everything he fought was this weird inhuman monstrosity in the sky. So it does make sense that he hasn't become desensitized the way that like soldiers do to killing humanoid people. That's really cool. Like it actually balances him out. I think that like if he joins the main party, and assuming that, setting off the nitrogen, getting rid of all the invaders on the lower levels, like assuming that still doesn't solve the problem of Souboutei, the fact that this land is inherently cursed and wrong, I do still think that he could be part of the main team without being overpowered. Like, his body, yeah, like his body is not meant to kill people, and I don't think he's just saying that in the sense like he doesn't want to, because him, like he just kind of like molds the body in accordance to what the human wants to have happen. Because of that, like I think Seiichi literally can't kill them, like because he, the water knows that he wouldn't want to do it in the depth of his heart, so he can't force himself to do it. Like I mean, he's saying here, I don't want to use my power on them, but I still feel like my theory has legs. Okay, so they kicked him, and then oh boy, did they just bisect him? Okay, no. I'm not okay. So I think this line is supposed to be his movement, like Seiichi's movement, but then this is the actual slash, like going through his legs. I mean, still not better. Oof. Okay, spoke too soon. I mean, like he isn't bisected, sure, but right through the lungs. Now stop the heart as well. Yeah, right in the middle. Oh, jeez. I mean, how's he getting out of this? Oh, it broke. Okay. Currently, it's protecting his hearts. Or its hearts. Like, they don't even think of him as being human or being a person. He's just an it to them. Jeez. I mean, I guess that still isn't like a pure, like, bisection. Like, his body's being cut into, but it's not, like, killing him. No, come on, Seiichi. You cannot die here. Please don't. Please don't. I mean, who can save him, though? Like Tsutomu is no longer there, right? Like he is either outside of Souboutei or he's being yeah, he is being dragged back in. But I doubt he can say like, oh, take me to Seiichi. Even if he could say that, actually, he has no reason to say it. So, who else could save him here? Oh, oh boy. Oh, that's such a cool shot. It's so inky. Like it's so brushstrokey. It stands out so well against the like the very plain textured background and then like the very clear silhouettes. Ah. Like Fujita Sensei's ability to just draw astounds me. That sounds super dumb because like there's a lot of great mangaka that, have great art, but I guess it's more like the diversity in his art that really blows my mind. Okay. I've returned and I'm delivering a new command order. Imperial Army Tokyo Regiment Zanka Squad promptly retreat into hell. So I guess they're like he's the former like leader of the group. It also seems like he has his sentience again. Like he's no longer possessed by Souboutei, or he's not being controlled by it. He doesn't have that thing that people influenced by Souboutei have, where like they still have their personalities, but they're twisted. So I'm curious, like, how is he standing against them? Like, did he manage to like overcome Souboutei's control, or was he never controlled at all? Like, has he just been living in Souboutei? I guess no. There's no way, because these are from like the Japanese Imperial Army, so they've been around for over 100 years. So he has to be immortal in some way. Ooh, you need your drawers. Well, I personally can't help, but if anyone here is watching and you want to redraw Souboutei, please apply. All right, moving on to chapter 61, I believe. Oh, 64. Battle with Zanka. Okay. I mean, the bandages imply two things. First of all, that he doesn't like automatically heal. But secondarily, like this could be someone playing a long con, maybe, perhaps. I don't know who though. As if I could ever die while leaving my men behind. I mean, maybe this is a situation where his ego is so powerful that he's able to like squash down Souboutei's control. But then again, like he is referring to them as his men, while at the same time he's standing against them. Ah, he turned into a whirling dervish. Gosh, I mean, he was the eponymous character of the last chapter, and like this chapter is also partially named after him. I don't know if I can hope for him to be a main character or like a part of the cast on the same level as the rest of the specialists, but so far he's really selling himself. He's super cool. I am curious to see like why the series is specifically introducing like Kairikuro and now Zanka. Like it really felt like things were wrapping up, while at the same time, like, Okay, you all cease to be human due to my own negligence. So, by saying that, he's implying, I mean, I guess he's not implying that he's not also non-human, but he's definitely not within the hive mind of Souboutei, where, like, everyone wants to do stuff for the house, and they believe that the house has made them superhuman. Like, he still sees them as an abomination that needs to be destroyed. Like, I am really curious to see how different, or I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm curious as to how much personality Souboutei still allows. Because, like, clearly it seems like this man has a lot of honor, and he is being permitted to fight, as befits his honor. Like, it feels almost as if the invaders did have, sentient water. It was his body. But I'm wondering if the invaders are also like if they operate under the same rules of if they invade someone and then subdue them with negative emotions, but then they also do things in accordance with that person. I don't know. Like I guess that doesn't really pan out properly. It's more that they allow people to have their own minds to an extent, but then they constantly bombard them with this idea of, but what you really want to do is be grateful to Souboutei. What you really want to do is protect Souboutei and draw more people into the paintings, or otherwise subdue them. Okay, why have you given in? I think they might answer what I was just asking. It's because it feels so good like this. Eh? Wait a minute, what? Sakamaki, what in the world are you doing in this mansion you built? Was his name? Was the name of the painter Sakamaki? I could be forgetting. It was something starting with a D, like a Dedo or Daido, maybe. I think it was Daido, but this might have been his first name or last name. I can't get over this panel. Like, he was sneering then as well, a face he never showed when we were kids. So, like, I mean, Taka is presumably going to meet the painter again at some point. Like, he made that promise with the painter of, hey, I'll come back and I'll talk to you about arts. So, we might get into the actual backstory of Souboutei. Like, was the grounds of were the grounds of Souboutei cursed before the house went up, or is it something inherent to the house that caused it to be like this? Because so far, like, the painter hasn't really ever sneered. Like, none of the expressions I'd say he's had have been sneering. He's never felt like holier than thou. He's felt like sad at times. He's felt very upset a lot of the time. Like, he has this like resting bitch face, for lack of a better term. But I wouldn't say he was ever like sneering at anyone. If anything, he's been like less emotional. Like, he's never had this face. He's never had the typical, like, possessed by Souboutei face, as far as I can remember. Okay, good. Pin him to the ground. Or no. Okay, combo move. Extreme combo move. And yeah, that's not using a drill. It's not piercing him, but it is using it as a shield, actually. Oh, okay, actually, no, I see what happens. I thought he was using it partially to push him out of the window, but I think it's more, this blow, like, this throw was a throw out of the window. Like, you can see the broken glass shards over there. And then in that moment, Seiichi blocks the gunfire. Okay, so he wasn't even trying to harm a human being in that moment. Oh, okay, so they're retreating. Yeah, fair. Like, as much as Seiichi is a good boy, I can understand that if you haven't met someone like him, you would be very suspicious. Sure. Yeah, name tag. Oh, his name tag is gone. I didn't notice that. Here in Souboutei, everything is falsehood. Falls unconscious. Hopefully, like, Seiichi tending to him when he's unconscious is going to flip his mind a little bit at the very least. I hear a paintbrush somewhere. Also, that smell. Turpentine and oil paint. Oh, okay, so we're getting back to this real fast. I mean, I guess this works as like a transition. Sakamaki, what in the world are you doing? Like, maybe we'll finally get to see what he's doing, apart from just, making paintings. Okay, let's do this. What exactly is this conversation going to be like? Like, is it just more art talk, or are they going to delve into, like, Souboutei itself? Yeah, understandable. This is a weird area. We have already walked through this area, so it's not quite that weird, but it is nice to see, like, a child character, like seeing Rokuro, who is much less desensitized than everyone else, walk through here and just wonder, like, what is happening? Like, what is the purpose of this room? I personally don't really know what the purpose is. Like, it seems like this might be some sort of, like, voyeuristic room where everyone looks in, like, like one of those areas at a strip club or something where you go in and you see, like, someone stripping in a private room. That's a weird analogy to make, but that's what this feels like. Like either that or it's meant to be surveillancy, like someone can be on the other sides and look in. But it feels more like because of the number of eye holes, it looks like something where a lot of people are all supposed to be here all at once. Man, it is like it's nice to see a normal person just being weirded out by Souboutei. Yeah, Souboutei is really weird. No one could actually live here. Chapter 65, the one who built Souboutei. So it's perfect. Great timing. You? It's such a good transition, too, of who built this place? The one who built Souboutei. You? Like, it's perfect. It's so good. The flow. All right, let's speak about arts. What the heck are those crazy black hands? This dynamic though, I liked it so much. Like the chapter where they first interacted is probably one of my favorite chapters of Souboutei. As crazy as that sounds, because like it wasn't super mind blowing, but it had this like really great character interaction. It showed how powerful Tsutomu's like charisma, I guess, is like in a very specific situation when he's with someone who cares about the things he wants to talk about. Also, like, again, I can't take that panel out of my head. At no point here does he look like he's. I mean, I guess he's looking down on him, but he's not sneering at all. It looks more like he's just annoyed slash like this panel especially. Like it looks like he is annoyed, but at the same time he wants to like talk to Tsutomu or what's his actual name? It's Taka, right? Like he's trying to bear with him. Like he genuinely does want to talk. It's just he's naturally the kind of person who looks like this. Oh. Elotrian character homophones in Japanese. Kara is an English loanword. Okay. I mean, he is very, very old. Like Souboutei is very old. He created Souboutei, so I guess he exists before loanwords, before like what are they called again? Like Wasaego. Okay, so he is going to talk a little about the black hands. Sure. Right. And every time they touched me, it felt super gross. It was like what I imagine it's like to touch a zombie. What is a zombie? Again, like I assume he is saying it out loud, a zombie, which is like, yeah, it's another loanword. Okay, your vocab is kind of like an old man's. Like that hasn't really come across too much. Like it's very difficult to do old language in like in translation, because English does have like very old timey words that you can use, but that feels a little cheesy at times, and it doesn't work quite the same way. Like I do think that the translation here has been focusing on making him sound very stilted, very like formal in the way he talks. And I think that does work to an extent, but it didn't really strike me until now that, oh yeah, he is supposed to be speaking in a more old-timey way. Okay, so yeah, confirmed. Like, I mean, we knew already that he sent out the Black Hands, but it's confirming that, like, yeah, that he has control over them at the very least. What is that? It's so creepy. That weird but cool-looking painting. Oh boy, let's do some art talk. That does look really good. Okay. Seshu, the artist of Ekadanbizu. I've never. That's definitely not a reference I get. Seshu is good. Simply tracing the lines. They would be uninteresting images of mountains, but. So you're telling me those black hands are something you gave me, but then you also like Seshu. So who are you? I love this implication that if you like Seshu, then there's no way that you could also control black hands. Like you can't possibly be a bad guy. I'm fundamentally like I have no idea who that is. Let's do a quick look. Seshu Ekadanbizu. Okay, so he has traveled a bit. It's just that he traveled a long time ago, and most likely like he acted as a foreigner. Like he most likely didn't try to learn any local language. The brain. When I viewed the architecture of the world, my brain matter was fiercely shaken. Okay. The most important thing for humans is to find something that shakes their brain matter. To have one's brain shaken by the sight of a building is to feel ecstasy in the body as well. Man, these two pages feel so much like pages from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like, both in this pose and also, like, the way that he's focusing on a very specific topic in a way that is very off the wall, but at the same time, it makes total sense. It's extremely JoJo's. But yeah, I can understand that. Oh, Those hat hooks and looking glass walls are a significant stimulus to a person's brain. Right. So in the same way, like, um, that's cool. Like Rokuro is doing exactly what he wanted. Like an average person might not even look at them that much, or they might look but then not think about it too much. But Rokuro is legitimately trying to think about it. Like, hey, you can't hang your hat on those hat hooks. Like, why are these looking glass walls a thing? Like, how could they be used? That is the point of it. Okay, so when I returned, I thought I would build something to shake the brains of more people than anything else. And then I thought, if I live inside that building, my brain would be shaken more and more, and I could paint even better arts. Okay. I mean, that's a cool motivation. Like, it does make sense. Like, that's why Souboutei is so extremely weird. Why it's evil is a different question, but it explains why it's weird. Okay, your name is Deido, Sakamaki Deido. Okay, so that does confirm he was talking about this Sakamaki. I probably should have looked up, the previous chapters, but also, this is a really cool panel. Like, Deido looks really, really good. I really like how, the I guess just the absence of ink in these specific brushstrokes really highlights the sheen of his outfits. And I really like the contrast between Deido and Seiichi and the backgrounds. Not Seiichi, Tsutomu, sorry. This is a shot though where like I'm definitely gonna have to wait for the official release. It's possible this is meant to be like super duper inky black, but it feels like it's not meant to be. It definitely feels like we're missing detail here. A tray of food. Okay. This is, I believe, not an area we've seen before. So we've got like a bride thing going on here. So I assume this is the bride then. Who is this? Okay. A typical jump scare. Also, thank you whoever chose to put this in. Seshu Toyo. Okay, I might have better luck with that then. Actually, I could probably just look up Seshu Toyo. Why am I doing the bit ly? Just from the thumbnails, these are very, very different styles. Like, they all are definitely the what is it called? Like the style where they probably have it on here actually. Is it ink and wash paint? Like, there's a certain Japanese term for it. Sumie. That's right. Yeah. That's cool. But like, they're very different types of sumie. Like, this one is extremely abstract. It is, like, it's super duper abstract, but it definitely has like, oh boy, that's way too close. That like vibe that I enjoy from sumie artwork. Like, it's all in the paper really. What I really like about it is the fact that you can see like each individual brushstroke. Like, I guess these aren't really brushstrokes though. Like, this looks more like he used water and just kind of like dabbed it down to make the mountains. But like, you can see the texture of the paper. The paper is really unforgiving, so like you can see each individual brushstroke, and it's all about like using I'm not an art critic, but it's so cool. But then like, this is such a deep contrast. Like, it's so abstract. Like, I think it's supposed to be a mountain range and then trees. There's like some buildings over here, and then I'm not totally sure what's going on here. Whereas like the next one, like, this is super duper detailed. Like, it still follows the same principles of like, you can see the material that it's made on. It's very dappled. It adds this like brownish tone to everything. But then the rest of it is like just using the using various levels of ink, and like, it's all kind of blotchy. It doesn't all like stand out, but that's part of the charm. The point of it is that like, you can see each individual little stroke. It's like, it's one of those things that people really look at when they like. It's so definitive of like old school Japanese arts. Like, it's either what was this again? It's either sumie or it's like ukiyo-e, the like the woodcut arts. And honestly, I like this a lot more than the woodcut arts. Like, there's a certain charm to it that it's just super nice. And then the third one, like, this is the one that Death Toll decided to put in the actual reaction or like chapter, which I guess makes sense because like, it's kind of a blend of those two. Like, you can see the very simple brushstrokes here, and like, the use of like very plain tones. But then the faces are like ultra super duper detailed. It's kind of gross actually. Like, the amount of detail in contrast to everything else is kind of gross, but like, it is really good. It's artistically really solid. Hmm. Okay, so I guess this all confirms that yes, if you like Sesshu, then you can't be a bad person. Oh, and that is actually the final chapter we have right now. Cool. So that is Souboutei chapters. Oh boy, where did I start? All right, okay, chapter 54. So this was 54 to 65, which is extremely healthy. I do want to do reactions a bit, smaller than this. I'm going to try and be more on top of it, but like this was great. Like we kind of finished off the I'm not sure what I would call it though. Like I can't call it the Invaders arc because like we definitely are moving on to something else. Like we have Kairikuro here, we have Zanka, um like the the nitrogen was released, but at the same time like the invaders are not all gone. So it feels weird saying that's the end of the invaders arc, but I wouldn't say that that's like the nitrogen arc because it definitely is resolving something that started way earlier than when we learned about the nitrogen. In any case, wow. Like we've gone so far. I think the main thing that really stands out to me is the unity between the survivors. Like they've gone from being this ragtag group of people to being, saved for the most part by the power of Takaha, and then over the course of this little arc, they've grown to fight together until they were fighting for their lives side by side, power fighting next to power. It was fantastic. Like, I didn't go into Souboutei wanting that kind of thing. I'm definitely in it more for the horror, but at the same time, like, it definitely sold me on the horror. It was amazing. Like, I don't think horror works if you don't care about the characters that are being terrorized. And while the series did go off, it worked for a while based on sheer artistic merits and based on the fact that like Rokuro was around. I was scared for Rokuro. I was scared for Takaha. But like now we're at a point where we have so many human people. I have faces, so many of them, and I'm terrified that any of them might be hurt. And we've already done the thing that I thought might be the end of the Invaders arc, and the Invaders are not all dead yet. So, real concerns. It does seem like we're diving into like the very nature of Souboutei itself. Like, we're still going to bring up the question of like, is Sakamaki, is he aware of what's going on? Like, does he fully understand how evil Souboutei is? Or is he, like, himself being led on by the idea that, it's just meant to shake you up, and he doesn't care about the rest as long as he can make his arts? I feel like that's what we're going around. Like, I feel like at some point he is going to be on Takaha's side. Like, they're going to reach some sort of conclusion as to whether Souboutei should be destroyed. He'll finally say yes. Because Souboutei is such a terrifying power, and I feel like at some point in the series, we're going to have literally everyone, like maybe even including the invaders, like working against Souboutei, and Souboutei itself is still going to resist them. That's how I picture the house. I picture the house as this terrifying thing that can't be stopped even with the power of everyone working together. In which case, I would like to take that in a positive way. I'd like to, hold out hope that we will have this like big moment where, like, everyone more or less, not everyone, because people have straight up died already, but where we can have this grand standoff against the very nature of it, the very evil that is causing, other threats like alien planets to reach out to it, and maybe it'll be defeated, maybe it won't be. But yeah, storytelling, fantastic. Art, fantastic. Really excited for this new arc we're going into. And it excites me so much to think that I don't know what this arc is. Like, I can't put a finger on what the distinction is between the last arc and this arc. I guess I would say the last arc was the nitrogen arc. And I would, like, have it go from, I guess whenever they learned about the nitrogen, which I would say would probably be, like, around Souboutei's objective. Like from Souboutei's objective to like nitrogen explosion. I guess that would be the arc. Anyways, that's all I really have to say in a constructive way. Definitely gonna keep on reading. Wow. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Bye for now. Nya nya.